Have you ever found yourself sitting quietly with a warm cup of coffee, maybe just after sunrise, thinking, did I do enough? Will my retirement be secure, meaningful, peaceful? You're not alone. After working hard for decades, raising families, paying off homes, and showing up day after day, these questions naturally rise to the surface. But if you have a pension, your situation is different and far more powerful than most people realize. This isn't just about money. It's about finally understanding the value of what you've built so you can feel safe enough to live fully, without guilt, without fear. In this video, we're going to walk together, not through a lecture, but through a life-aware conversation to discover how your pension can become more than just a paycheck. It can be the foundation for a life of freedom, generosity, and peace of mind. You've already earned it. Now, let's make sure it works for you. 1. The real retirement picture, and why most people get it wrong. For most of our lives, we have been taught one version of retirement planning. Work hard. Save what you can in a retirement account like a 401k. Hope Social Security will still be there, and try to make it all last through the rest of your life. That model has been repeated so often, it feels like a universal truth. But here is the truth that often gets ignored. If you have a pension, you are playing an entirely different game. You see, most retirement advice is built for people who do not have a pension. That advice assumes you need to build up a very large investment account because once you stop working, that account becomes your main source of income. But with a pension, your income does not suddenly stop. In fact, it keeps showing up every single month. It is steady, reliable, and guaranteed for life. That single difference changes everything. Let me give you an example. Imagine your pension pays you $4,000 every month. Over a year, that is $48,000. Over 25 years of retirement, that adds up to $1,200,000. In other words, just by having a pension, it is as if you are already holding over $1 million in guaranteed income. That is more than most people ever save in their lifetime. But the strange part? Many pension holders still worry as if they had nothing. Why? The reason is simple. Most of us have been conditioned to measure our financial security by how much we have in our investment accounts. If the balance looks low, we feel anxious, even if we have reliable income arriving every month. But that is the old way of thinking. When you have a pension, you need a new lens, a new way of looking at your retirement. Because the truth is, your pension puts you in a stronger financial position than many people who spent their whole lives saving aggressively, but now must guess how long their savings will last. Here is the surprise. You may already have more retirement security than you think. You may already have what others are still chasing, and the sooner you understand what your pension really means, the sooner you can stop worrying and start living with confidence. 2. The psychology of security. Why we do not feel safe. Even when we are, let us talk about something deeper than money. How we feel about money. Because sometimes, even when we have enough, we still carry fear. We still feel uncertain. That is not weakness, that is human nature. In fact, it is especially common among people who have worked hard for decades, raised families through difficult times, and lived through economic uncertainty. If you have ever felt unsure about your financial future, even when the numbers say you are okay, you are not alone. There is a psychological concept called scarcity mindset. It means that when we have spent years worrying about not having enough, our brains get used to that feeling. Even after we have reached a place of financial safety, we may still act like we are in survival mode. We may avoid spending, hold on to every dollar, and live with quiet anxiety, just in case something goes wrong. It is a mindset built out of experience, and it is understandable, but it can also quietly steal your joy in retirement. Now let us go back to your pension. You have this steady stream of income. It is not affected by the stock market. It shows up every month. But you might still find yourself watching every penny, checking your accounts too often, or saying no to things you can actually afford. This is where awareness becomes powerful, because recognizing this pattern is the first step toward changing it. The truth is, retirement is not just about surviving. It is about living. It is about feeling safe enough to say yes to life. Yes to visiting your grandchildren. Yes to that road trip you always dreamed about. Yes to helping a child through college. Yes to the kind of generosity that leaves a legacy. But to do that, you have to feel secure, not just on paper, but in your heart. Your pension is not just a number. It is your reward for decades of contribution. It is your foundation. And understanding that is what allows you to finally exhale, to stop feeling like you are on the edge, to start living in the freedom you have earned. You do not need to live in fear anymore. You have built something strong. It is time to trust it. 3. The hidden math. Why your pension is more than just monthly income. Let us dig into something most people never stop to calculate: the true value of a pension. When you think of your pension, you probably think of the amount that lands in your bank account each month. But there is a powerful truth most people overlook. That monthly amount represents a much larger financial engine working behind the scenes, one that often equals the savings of a high-earning investor. Here is a simple way to think about it. Let us say your pension pays $4,000 every month. Multiply that by 12 months, and you get $48,000 per year. Now multiply that by 25 years, a reasonable retirement length, and that adds up to $1,200,000. That is the equivalent of having over $1 million in a retirement account. Except you did not have to save it all yourself. That is not a small thing. That is life-changing. And yet, most people with pensions never stop to do that math. They keep working longer than they need to. They keep saving as if they have no guaranteed income. They worry about downturns in the market when their pension is not tied to the market at all. In other words, they keep living by someone else's financial rules. If you combined your pension with Social Security, let us say your total monthly income is around $6,000, then over 25 years, that amounts to $1,800,000 in guaranteed income. That is a multi-million-dollar foundation, and it is often more secure than what the average retiree can generate from a personal investment account. So why does this matter? Because when you truly understand the financial strength your pension gives you, you can plan more clearly, spend more confidently, and invest more wisely. You can stop guessing and start deciding. And most importantly, you can begin to let go of the unnecessary fear that so many retirees carry with them. Fear that was never meant for you. You are not entering retirement empty-handed. You are stepping into it with a powerful financial engine already running in your favor. The more you recognize that, the more freedom you can allow into your life. 4. Income floor equals peace of mind. Let us take a moment to talk about something that may not sound exciting at first, but is one of the most powerful concepts in retirement planning: the income floor. It is a simple idea, but it can completely shift how you feel about money in this next chapter of life. An income floor is the guaranteed money you receive every month, regardless of what the stock market is doing. It is the foundation that supports your essential needs: your home, groceries, medications, electricity, transportation, and everything else you truly cannot live without. For many retirees, this floor is made up of two key things: pension income and Social Security benefits. Now, here is where the magic happens. When your income floor covers most or all of your basic living expenses, your entire relationship with retirement changes. You do not need to worry about whether your investments will go up or down this year. You do not need to check the news every morning and hold your breath every time the market takes a dip, because your essentials are covered. You have stability beneath your feet. Think of it like walking across a hardwood floor. It is solid. You know it will hold you. That is what your pension provides: solid ground especially when everything else in the world feels uncertain. For people without a pension, retirement can feel like walking across ice. One bad year in the market could cause everything to crack beneath them. But you, with your pension, are walking with confidence. You have a foundation. Here is another benefit that often gets overlooked. When your income floor is in place, it allows you to make smarter, calmer decisions with your investments. You do not need to pull money out during a market downturn just to pay the bills. That means your investments have time to recover. It means you can afford to wait. And in investing, patience is often the most powerful strategy of all. But perhaps even more important than the math is the feeling. The feeling of knowing you can sleep at night, that you are not one market crash away from panic, that you can say yes to the trip, yes to helping your granddaughter with her first apartment, yes to the things that bring joy, not just survival. Your pension does more than provide income. It gives you peace, and peace, in this stage of life, is priceless. 5. Investing differently. Why you can take a breath. Now that we have talked about the security your pension gives you, let us look at how that security opens the door to smarter investment choices, the kind that create both long-term growth and peace of mind. Most retirees without a pension need to be extremely cautious with their investments. They worry about every dip in the market because they are relying on that money to survive month to month. That often leads them to invest very conservatively, focusing heavily on bonds or cash savings, which might feel safe, but also struggle to keep up with inflation over time. But if you have a pension, you are in a very different position. Because your basic needs are already covered through guaranteed income, you are not depending on your investments for day-to-day survival. That means you do not have to play it too safe. You have more flexibility. You can afford to invest in a way that actually grows your wealth and protects your lifestyle over the long run. This is where many people miss a valuable opportunity. They treat their portfolio as if they still need it to pay the bills. But your pension already pays the bills. That frees you up to use your investments for different purposes, to protect against inflation, to fund the fun parts of retirement, to leave something behind for the next generation. And that starts with shifting your mindset from defense to growth. Now, growth does not mean being reckless. It does not mean gambling or taking unnecessary risks. It means recognizing that you can include more stocks in your portfolio because you do not need to touch that money right away. Stocks, over time, have been one of the most effective tools for building wealth. And thanks to your pension, you have something most investors do not have: time and breathing room. Let me say that again. Your pension gives you breathing room. That breathing room reduces the need to sell investments in a panic when the market drops. It reduces the risk of what financial planners call sequence of returns risk. That is, the danger of having to withdraw money during the wrong time in the market cycle. With your pension in place, you can let your investments ride through the storms, and more importantly, you can let them grow. What does that growth mean in practical terms? It means a cushion for unexpected health expenses. It means options if you want to move closer to family. It means legacy, something to pass on to your children or a cause you care about. Your pension is the safety net. Your investments can be the wings. So take a breath. You have earned the right to think beyond fear. You can now think in terms of freedom, growth, and impact. 6. Choosing the right payout. The one decision you cannot undo. Among all the financial choices you make in retirement, there is one decision that often carries more weight than any other: choosing how to take your pension. This is not just another checkbox. It is a decision that can affect your income, your spouse's security, and your overall retirement strategy for the rest of your life. And in many cases, once you make this choice, you cannot change it. Most pension plans offer you several payout options. The first is the single life option. This provides the highest monthly payment, but it ends when you pass away. That can be fine if you are single, or if your spouse has their own solid retirement income. But if your spouse depends on your pension to make ends meet, this could leave them vulnerable. The second option is the joint life payout. This gives you a slightly smaller monthly amount, but it continues to pay your spouse for the rest of their life if you pass away first. For many couples, this is the more secure choice. It is a way of saying, I want to make sure you are taken care of, no matter what happens to me. It is not always the highest paying choice in the short term, but it often brings the greatest peace of mind in the long term. There is also a third option in some plans, the lump sum. This means you receive the entire value of your pension all at once and take full responsibility for investing and managing that money yourself. It can offer flexibility, more control over taxes, and the chance to leave unused funds to heirs. But it also comes with risk. You are trading a guaranteed income stream for a large balance that you must protect and manage wisely. Let me share a short story. A gentleman I once met, Sam, chose the highest monthly amount, the single life option, without realizing it would stop when he passed. His wife, who was not involved in the financial conversations, was shocked when the checks stopped. They had lived modestly, thinking everything was taken care of. But one misstep changed everything. It was heartbreaking to see. That is why this decision deserves careful thought. It is not just about numbers. It is about your health, your spouse's health, your shared values, and the kind of life you want to live together. Do you want more now or more security later? Do you need flexibility or do you value guarantees? There is no one-size-fits-all answer. But what matters is that you make this choice with clarity, not guesswork. Because once you lock it in, the path is set. So take your time. Talk to your spouse. Speak with a trusted advisor. Think beyond the paycheck and consider the life you are building. This one decision could shape everything that follows. 7. Freedom and legacy. Why this is not just about you. There comes a point in life when money stops being about just bills and budgets. It starts becoming about freedom, and more deeply, legacy. Once your pension and Social Security cover your needs and your investments are positioned wisely, you step into a phase that very few people get to experience. The ability to live not just for yourself, but through your values. With your core expenses covered, your remaining resources are no longer tied to survival. They are connected to meaning. They are connected to the people you love and the impact you wish to leave behind. You now have the opportunity to make intentional choices with your time, your energy, and your money. Choices that reflect who you are and who you have always been. For some, this means traveling to places long dreamed about. For others, it means spending more time with children or grandchildren, or even helping them start their own lives with a little support. Maybe a down payment for a home, or help with tuition. For many, it means being able to give to causes they care about, whether that is the local church, a veterans group, a food pantry, or a scholarship fund for students who remind you of your younger self. This is the stage where you can live generously. And generosity is not about writing big checks. It is about showing up. It is about knowing that you do not have to hold your money with clenched fists. You can open your hands because you are standing on solid ground. That freedom, to give, to explore, to rest, is one of the most beautiful gifts your pension can provide. And then there is the question of legacy. What are we really leaving behind? Yes, assets and inheritance matter, but legacy is bigger than that. It is the example you set for your family. It is the values you pass down. It is the stories your grandchildren will tell about how you showed up in their lives, not just at holidays, but in small, steady ways. Your pension, your planning, your care, it all supports that. When you stop seeing your pension as just a check and start seeing it as a bridge to impact, to freedom, to love, then you begin to live retirement on a whole new level. One that is not just about getting by, but about giving forward. This stage of life was never meant to be small. It was meant to be full. And now you have the tools to make it so. What most pension holders get wrong and how to get it right. You have heard the phrase, knowledge is power. In retirement, understanding your pension may be one of the most powerful forms of knowledge you can hold. But here is the difficult truth. Many people who have pensions still make serious mistakes, not because they are careless, but because they were never taught how to fully use what they have earned. Let us go over a few of the most common missteps. First, many pension holders underestimate the value of their pension. They see a monthly payment, but never calculate what it truly represents, the equivalent of hundreds of thousands, even over $1 million in lifetime income. Because of that, they keep working longer than necessary, or they carry fear they no longer need to carry. Second, many do not realize that having a pension allows them to invest differently. They keep their portfolios too conservative, missing out on long-term growth that could benefit themselves and their families. Remember, your pension provides stability. That opens the door for smarter, more flexible investment strategies. Third, the payout decision, single life, joint life, or lump sum, is often made without full understanding. Some choose based on the highest monthly payment, only to realize later that their spouse is left with nothing. Others pick the lump sum without understanding the risks of managing that money. These are permanent choices. They should be made with clarity and care. Fourth, and perhaps most quietly damaging, is the mindset mistake, believing you have to keep living as if you are financially vulnerable, even when you are not. Some retirees continue to live in fear, avoiding enjoyment, generosity, or growth. They do not trust the ground they are standing on, and that can shrink what should be the most fulfilling season of life. So, how do we get it right? Start by truly understanding the value of what you have. Run the numbers. Recognize your pension as the stable foundation it is. Then, design the rest of your retirement around that foundation, not from fear, but from freedom. Second, review your investment strategy in light of your guaranteed income. You may be able to take a little more risk for the sake of long-term reward. That does not mean gambling. It means growing intentionally, now that you are not depending on your portfolio to survive. Third, approach the payout decision with your spouse if you have one. Think together. Plan together. This is not just a financial choice. It is a relational one. Finally, let go of unnecessary fear. You have worked hard. You have built something strong. Now you deserve to enjoy it, to use it, to live in the light of the security you earned. You have what you need. Now it is time to act like it, not with recklessness, but with wisdom, confidence, and heart. You have spent a lifetime showing up for your family, your work, your community. Through good years and hard ones, you kept going. You made sacrifices, built routines, paid your dues. And now, here you are, entering a chapter that many fear, but few truly prepare to embrace. But you have a pension, and that means you have something powerful, something steady, something rare. Not just a paycheck, but a foundation. A gift from your past self to your future self. And maybe, until now, no one has fully explained just how valuable that really is. If this conversation has helped you see your pension in a new light, not just as money, but as possibility, then I hope you carry that insight forward. Use it to make choices with more clarity. Use it to breathe easier. Use it to live better. Retirement is not an ending. It is an opportunity. An opportunity to be present, to be generous, to be at peace, and most of all, to be you, fully, freely, and without fear. If you found value in this message, I invite you to share it with someone you care about, a friend, a spouse, a neighbor who may not realize how strong their future truly is. And if you would like more guidance, more thoughtful conversations like this one, feel free to subscribe to this channel or visit our website for tools created just for you. This is Wise Elders Insight. Thank you for spending your time with me today. And remember, you have done enough. Now it is time to live like it.